Well, I might as well begin by taking exception to something that was just said. Molly talked about Paul Living's remarks last night that we are all one big family, one big enterprise all together. I think Paul Living's right. I know no supposed to be here with that. I thought we were going back to New York. Paul has been quoted at lunch, and Paul has quoted maybe 3 or 4 times his words that we're all one big happy family in the theater.
It has developed a good deal of expertise in going out and seeking those wide variety of places. Would you favor
120 participants from around the country who are here. Thank God you made it before the snow. Now you're all here. But there are other watch groups in Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco, and Minneapolis. So welcome to all of you who are listening as well. There's 2 of our core values here at Arena Stage: to flourish by building a dynamic and powerful artistic community, and to promote the effective stewardship of cultural capital on behalf of artists in the field that are really in full force with all of you here. So you're part of embodying these core values, and we welcome you. I'd like to make a special thank you to Associate Artistic Director David Dower. I'm not sure if he's here in the house. Here in the house.
It crosses ethical bounds. It crosses legal bounds in terms of population history. And I think it also addresses the whole issue of corruption of the process. It's the not-for-profit a cheap tryout for us commercial producers. We bring shows to the not-for-profit and change the artistic vision of the company. And you said,
Whenever someone says you said, I know I'm in good trouble.
no, that's actually saying you guys were sort of resisting. I mean, everybody else was sort of in favor of these partnerships largely. He said, Peter Schneider has raised an issue that obviously no one wants to talk about in our weekend orgy of mutual and self-congratulation. About how we're all wonderful partners and we're all working together and we all love each other. But what is the mission of the nonprofit sector, of the subsidized theater? What happened to the business title and destiny did happen in founders of that movie? Are these theaters now simply Broadway tryout houses where we Broadway producers will have products to be developed, or at the same time do they become Broadway producers themselves, setting up shop on Broadway, becoming virtually undistinguishable from a Broadway production company? Obviously, this is something that people don't want to talk about. It is a shame, because for me, it is the most important issue that we face in contemporary theater.
That was so well said.
So, I guess, so you started this whole business, and so what...
Michael David and I went to the big river to White Lake and gave him $20,000 to do the show. We were even close to a month at the time we were in New Hampshire.
Right. So at what point would it go from perhaps seeming like, okay, here's a deal we can do, it helps us to reduce our risk and maybe money, this is the point when Ford and Dr. Bell and video have had serious cuts in their budgets because of recession and shifting priorities, and so theaters were sort of out on a limb, they needed money, they were having a hard time supporting the infrastructure. What shifted in these, by 2000, clearly, you were beginning to have concerns. You were still doing these deals with people, which is kind of ironic, but
I would submit, at least at the outset for this discussion, that what is required from the funders and the people considering these theaters is perhaps a different set of metrics than we are increasingly starting to adopt. That we have to look at the nature as well as the quality of the work. Is the work venturesome? Is it taking risk of any kind? And secondly, what is the relationship between these theaters and their communities? Theater only happens, it's live, it happens in a particular time, in a particular place. And I think it's legitimate to ask, what is the relationship of the theaters to its place, especially if the theater has its eyes on another place. I was visiting a part of my LEA duties of theater in the Midwest, and the artistic director couldn't stop telling me how they were a national theater. that they were taking their plays to New York, to other theaters, that Terry Teachout from the Wall Street Journal came down to endorse it. He endorsed the library a couple of months ago when there was a joint press release with Sean Donovan at HUD. And by the way, just to see the NEA logo on the top of a piece of stationery with HUD's, and it said, Chairman of the NEA, Rocco Landesman, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Sean Donovan, today announced, it was a notice of funding availability, $100 million for which arts organizations can apply to HUD money. That's new for the NEA. To be part of domestic policy in this country, to be part of the structure of what happens in the West Wing of the White House, to be engaged with these federal agencies, for them to consider their intersection with us to be very important. This is our mission. And when I met with Tom Vilsack at the Department of Agriculture, he said, we really are excited by what you're doing. Rather than go for a congressional appropriation, we have a community facilities program where we build buildings in small towns all across the country, where we can make the arts a part of that. Where a certain percentage of the funding can be applied to artists, to design, to artist access and workspaces. My friend Kathleen Sebelius at HHS really has engaged this. There are tremendous points of contact with the arts in childhood development, in mental health, in geriatrics. And I could go on and on, but this, for the first time, in my opinion, we are really seeing the NEA, the arts, being integrated into federal domestic policy, and I think that's very encouraging.
So let's open it up, because I understand people need to come down front to...
I see Paul Lipman with a question.
You know, but I think...
When Rocco was my boss, I didn't argue with him. But now he's a public servant. First of all, first of all, he, when I was enslaved in the not-for-profit theater, he walked into my office and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And it's been great with Rocco. But when I said there's only one theater, I never meant for one moment that one theater had the same mission. Clearly, it does not have the same mission. And when I characterized the difference between a 990 and a 1040, I said the filing of a tax return doesn't make the theater different. Their missions are what they're about, because their mission is what attracts the audience to what they're doing. And what Rocco has just revealed to us, which I knew about, he shared this with me, his intersection with all the other cabinet structure of the American government is what the Ford Foundation did 40 years ago. And he has created a mechanism for that to happen. It is that enhancement that will hopefully displace the virus that infects the commercialization of a mission-oriented theater in terms of content, in terms of theme, in terms of creative writing, a new expression, which actually is all the livelihood of the quote-unquote commercial theater. But you can't hold great artists down. They keep moving, and they're not always committed to the realm of the not-for-profit world and the exploration of their theme or their expression, because they always want to go to a bigger platform. They want to go to a bigger stage. They want to reach more people. So I didn't argue much with him as a boss, and I don't think I'm arguing
Yeah, you did.
much now as a public servant. What did you say?
I said, yeah, you did.
Oh, well, but only with the same passion that you had. And,
Oh, point taken.
you always encourage that. That's what I do. As a matter of fact, briefly, I got my job because I criticized it. I wrote a letter, and he generated his exploration into my potential employment. But you got a tough job, especially when you wake up in the morning and you read about a bunch of people who say you shouldn't exist, and it should come to an end. So I applaud you as a public servant and a good friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.